Imagine waking up every day fresh and full of hope, only to find yourself weighed down by the dust of life before nightfall. What if the secret to breaking free lies not in changing the world, but in cleansing your own mind? Rome was a dirty, dusty place. Life itself feels much the same, gritty, relentless, and ever so messy. From the moment we wake up fresh and clean, to the end of the day when we're coated in the dust and dirt of our labors, both literally and metaphorically, life leaves its marks on us. The dust of work, the grime of stress, the debris of endless responsibilities settle upon us all. I often think about how just a few months ago, a brand new year stretched before us like a blank canvas. We held the best of intentions in our hands, eager to turn over a fresh leaf and start a new chapter. Yet here we are, only a handful of months later, and those old habits have crept back in. New bad habits have quietly taken root. The clutter of unfinished business has already piled up. Somehow, we're behind before we even really began. Maybe that's why spring cleaning is such a powerful ritual. It's not just about tidying up our physical spaces. It's about shedding what weighs us down, the extra pounds, the toxic habits, the mental clutter. It's a chance to welcome a new version of ourselves into a fresh season. And that's exactly what today's video is about. The habits Stoics believe we must shed to cleanse ourselves this season. Not just from the dust and grime of earthly existence, but from the bad habits and compulsions that cloud our minds. To live with clarity, purpose, and intention, and truly make the most of this new season. We don't just want to spring clean our homes, we want to spring forward in every sense. But let's dive deeper. The Stoics teach us about the inner citadel, a fortress within ourselves that remains untouched by outside events. No matter the good news or bad news, fortune or misfortune, this part of us stays firm. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoics, wrote that, "Stuff cannot touch the soul." And when we look at his life, we see what that really means. Despite the vast good fortune he encountered, he never let arrogance take hold. Despite unfair misfortunes, he never let bitterness seep in. Nothing could tarnish the inner goodness that bubbled beneath it all. Meditation and reflection reveal this truth. Beneath the dust and chaos, there is a wellspring of pure goodness, and it's ours to protect. One big reason life feels so difficult is because our thoughts are tangled and negative. Marcus said it best. Our life is dyed by the color of our thoughts. If all we see is the worst in people, the impossibilities, or our own mistakes, that's exactly the reality we'll live in. Your world, your mindset, your entire life, it's painted by the colors you choose to focus on. Marcus also reminds us that the time we have is limited. There's a fixed amount of time assigned to each of us, and if we don't use that time to free ourselves, it will slip away, never to return. This is the hard truth. You can't wait until tomorrow. Too often, we say, "I'll do it later, tomorrow is better," or, "I'm not ready yet." But the result is the same. We end up stuck. We don't change. We don't become who we're truly capable of becoming, who we know deep down we should be. So, as this new season arrives, ask yourself, how many more winters am I willing to let slip past? How many springs will I waste? Will I wait until summer? Until fall? Until another full year has passed, another complete rotation of the earth, before I finally get serious? Before I take the steps I know I need to take? Before I do what I know would be good for me? The time is now, not tomorrow, not someday, now. The Stoics would say there's only one thing left to do. Stop overthinking and start taking action. And honestly, There's no better moment than right now. No more waiting. No more putting things off for some distant tomorrow that never comes. Now, here's a story that perfectly illustrates the mindset we're cultivating. A philosopher once visited a Stoic named Agrippinus and said, "Hey, I've been invited to a party Nero is throwing. You know Nero, infamous for being corrupt and cruel. I'm torn about whether I should go. What do you think?" Agrippinus replied simply, "Yes, you should go." The philosopher was confused. "Wait, why, aren't you going?" "No," Agrippinus answered. "I never even thought about going." What Agrippinus was teaching was far deeper than a yes or no. It wasn't about debating the choice. He wouldn't even entertain the thought of attending something so compromising or morally corrupt. This is the essence of the hell yes or hell no rule, a principle often mentioned for effect, but deeply meaningful. We must be crystal clear about what we are willing to accept in our lives and what we simply will not tolerate. This clarity extends beyond mere actions. It's about knowing your moral compass, your priorities, so well that you don't hesitate, don't second guess, and don't seek constant advice. It's either a hard pass or an enthusiastic yes. No gray area. Marcus Aurelius once shared a powerful truth with me. You don't owe anyone a response. Just because an unsolicited email lands in your inbox doesn't mean you have to reply. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect. I remember when I was younger, I obsessed over inbox zero, the idea that you must respond to everything immediately. But as I've grown and my priorities have sharpened, I realized that chasing that ideal kept me from focusing on what truly matters. There are people I respond to quickly, of course, but many things can wait. Holding onto a false notion of being caught up actually prevented me from being caught up on the important stuff. My friend Isaac taught me a useful tool, a decision matrix that helps distinguish what is urgent versus what is truly important. Often, the requests and messages flooding in seem critical because they are urgent. But in reality, they distract us from important tasks that aren't necessarily urgent. It's a common trap. That's why the ancient Latin proverb festina lente, make haste slowly, is so vital. It was Emperor Augustus's favorite saying, reminding us to balance urgency with wisdom. We live in a world that pushes us to rush, hustle, and chase immediate results. But ironically, moving too fast can slow us down. You've heard the sayings, measure twice, cut once, and the military wisdom. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Both teach the same lesson. It's not about rushing blindly, it's about deliberate, disciplined action. You must make haste slowly. So as you move forward this season, remember, progress isn't about speed alone. It's about steady, mindful steps that build lasting change. The grudge you're holding onto, what good is it really? Marcus Aurelius offers a powerful perspective. Look at the people who carried grudges, who raged endlessly over wrongs, who clung tightly to their bitterness. Where are they now? He asks. They're gone, vanished from this world. And their grudges? They vanished too, without leaving any mark, without bringing them peace or justice. And your grudge? It will follow the same fate. No matter how significant or justified it feels, it will fade away eventually, just as you will. So the question becomes, how can you let it go? How can you move beyond it, process the pain, and stop carrying that heavy weight around? How do you prevent it from consuming your thoughts, your energy, your life? It's easy to get swept away by anger or resentment. It's easy to get carried away, worked up, and lost in the storm of emotions. This isn't new. Throughout history, people have been buffeted by forces beyond their control. Today, It might be the relentless barrage of news and social media. Centuries ago, it was the frenzied crowd in the Colosseum, howling and shouting, driven by mob mentality. Our task, as students of Stoicism, is to maintain calm and balance amid these storms. Marcus urges us to be like the steadfast rocks that waves crash against, but that remain unmoved, no matter how violently the sea roars. The rocks stay firm, and eventually, the waters calm. Chrysippus, one of the earliest Stoic thinkers, said it best: "If I wanted to follow the mob, I wouldn't have become a philosopher." This captures the essence of our challenge, to resist the pull of the crowd, to think independently, to maintain our reason. The purpose of Stoicism is to teach us how to slow down, exercise restraint, and develop the ability to reflect deeply. It's about putting every impression, every opinion, every emotional reaction to the test. As Epictetus advised, we learn not to be swept away by external chaos or lose control when everything around us seems to spiral. At one point in Meditations, Marcus offers a sobering warning: avoid false friendship at all costs. Nothing, he says, is more painful or damaging, and he speaks from experience. Marcus knew, however, that while we want to trust others and assume their best intentions, we must also accept human imperfection. People can be misled, they can harbor ill will. Awareness and preparedness are key. And now, here we stand. Winter is thawing. Days are growing longer. The air is warmer, and leaves begin to unfurl once more. It's time to face this new season with fresh growth, renewed energy, and genuine progress. And here's a little reminder: if you sign up for the Stoic Journey right now, you'll get this challenge, along with all our other challenges, completely free. We're excited to welcome you in. Sign up now at the Stoic Journey.